So at this time, our call is being recorded. And so I would like to thank everyone for being here. My name is Eric Oswara. I am the founder of AFOMA. We have a number of our colleagues and teammates on this project that that are currently on the call. We will like to go through the entire session, which at the end of the day or at the end of the session, we will then open it up for questions and answers. I will try and keep it very brief within 30 minutes as much as I can, and then so that we can allow all of you to ask questions for the remainder 30 minutes, and we will probably maybe extend it for additional 30 minutes if time allows. But I want to definitely see if we can wrap this up within the hour. Okay. So I would like to start the session, and this is what we would be talking about today. We would go into what AFOMA is all about. We will describe what the ecosystem of AFOMA is. I will make an introduction to the AFOMA team, but I want to keep it very short and simple. I will be putting instead or this introducing the leadership team within this project. I would ask you to please visit our website to then see the entire team who have contributed tremendously to the vision here within our project. We will then talk about the utility of the AFOMA token. I would like to spend at least 5 to close to 10 minutes because that is a very, very important section of our webinar today that I would like to talk about. And then I'll give a brief description of what our roadmap looks like for the AFOMA. Can you please go on mute, please? Please. Thank you. And then we'll talk about our token allocation within the AFOMA project itself. We will give a projection of where our market cap looks like within our first day or first month of once we list the AFOMA token. And then we would lastly then give an update on where our seed sales status is. And then we'll open it up for questions and answers and then feedback. Okay. So what is AFOMA? AFOMA is a technology-driven company. We are a technology-driven company first, and we will be leveraging our community-based token. I like to use that word community-based because that is what the AFOMA token is. Yes, you can call it crypto currency, you can call it utility token, but our vision is around building a community. That is what our vision is all about. And that is why we are tagging our token to be more of a community-based token. That token will be designed and built to drive social impact, right? That is our core value, to drive social impact through an ecosystem that will promote marginalized artists and artisans across the globe. We are not just for a particular section of the globe. We are all for everyone. We will be inclusive to everyone. But our design and our ecosystem is built or will be built to drive inclusion, right? We do not want to build a system that is only benefiting a certain percentage of the global market. We want to be inclusive. And our value proposition is really about enabling artists and artisans to scale beyond their local economy within these, especially within developing regions, such as in Africa, through that ecosystem. One of the things in my experience is that we've seen a lot of people and businesses locked within their own local economy. They cannot scale beyond where they are today. And that is typically as a result of maybe a lack of technology understanding, or the platforms that are accessible to them do not give them the ability to scale. Or most likely one of the things we encounter, especially in Africa, is internet penetration, right? Or they just do not simply have the backing or an ecosystem like ours that can help them enable their businesses. And one of the ecosystem that the ecosystem we're building that would actually drive that vision is we will be building the world's first blockchain integrated multi-vendor artisanal marketplace. So we will be the first that will be building a handicraft market that will be integrated to blockchain. And we will be leveraging AFOMA to drive that marketplace. Our marketplace will drive for inclusion, where we would enable more options of payment within that platform. We will be introducing an NFT marketplace and a metaverse as well. In the long run, our vision is to contribute towards United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and that will include poverty alleviation. I started this organization purely based off the fact that for the work that we do around humanitarian work with my not-for-profit called Azoneta. I wanted to build a platform that would enable or give the opportunity for us to not only create impact by enabling or breaking the cycle of poverty, but also as we generate revenue, we contribute towards SDG goals, especially within the communities that we are engaged with. So this is the AFOMA ecosystem. Right now, we are looking at 3 lines of businesses. One is Selitic, which will be our blockchain integrated multi-vendor e-commerce marketplace for the handicraft market. We are currently in phase 1 of that of Selitic right now. Oruvan, which will be our NFT marketplace, where we will allow artists to express their culture and heritage through digital art to enable them gain financial freedom, okay? And lastly, we'll be looking at building our metaverse, which is called AFOMA Land. Our metaverse will be built to offer accessibility, which will enable us project our vision to promote artists and artisans in the virtual world. Today, as much as you all know, there's a lot of buzzing around the metaverse, and a lot of the concepts that are being adopted today or looked into, it will not provide for accessibility in regions of like Africa or in the developing world, because as you all know, a lot of people cannot afford to leverage or procure VR headsets. Our metaverse will drive or address that, that issue, and we will be driving accessibility through by leveraging smartphones, which, as we all know, is pretty extensive in the developing world today. So we will be building something quite unique, something very exciting, something very powerful. And we have the right team or leadership and team to actually drive that vision. So I want to take some time to introduce the faces behind our project, the leadership team. As you all know me, I am the founder of AFOMA, and Baiju Jacob, who is also on the call today, will be leading our blockchain strategy within this ecosystem. Usman Mir will be leading our metaverse project or metaverse strategy. And Patrick Ebunono will be leading Selitic through a business and AI strategy. Just a bit of context to these wonderful individuals. Baiju is currently the founder of Chain Digit, which is a blockchain consulting company here in Canada, actually based out of Montreal. Baiju has been one of the first leaders in the blockchain space that mentored and trained within the blockchain framework called Hyperledger within Canada. Usman Mir is a leader in the XR, so extended reality, virtual reality, and augmentation reality technology. Here, he's also based off of here in Calgary, in Canada. He's actually an educator as well within that space, and his teachings have allowed him to actually extend his knowledge to in the University of Toronto School of Continuing Studies and Circuit Stream as well. Patrick Ebunono is currently the Associate Dean of Business in St. Lawrence College in Kingston, Ontario. He's currently pursuing his PhD in, I hope I'm speaking in the right terms, Patrick, but in digital entrepreneurship. So we have brought in the best within this industry to actually drive this vision. I would please ask you, I unfortunately cannot put up everybody's picture in today's presentation, but please take the time to visit our website to view our amazing team of individuals that are driving the vision, including our advisors that we brought in as well. We are continuously building this team. We are looking at adding in additional advisors and additional members to drive our vision within AFOMA. So please allow me to give me a few minutes to talk about this, because this is where I want to shed some insight on. I know a lot of us who have invested in our project are not even crypto savvy people. They have just seen what our project is about. They are passionate about what we are doing and the vision behind it. But I also want to take some time to explain what AFOMA is all about. Add some more context to what crypto is. I know a lot of individuals out there have cryptocurrency has given some insight or created a narrative of the good and the bad and the ugly. But this is a technology that can be leveraged to do good. And that is the vision of what AFOMA is all about. We want to leverage AFOMA to actually achieve good. And this, what we're going to leverage AFOMA to do is what will actually tie into the value of our token. It is important that people realize that in order for us to drive the value of AFOMA, its utility has to be exceptional. It has to be used to drive our programs. It has to be used to drive our vision. So today, AFOMA will be used to incentivize purchases, referrals on Selitic, right? So what do I mean by that? We are going to enhance a creator economy and a sharing economy where everyone wins. And how do we intend to achieve that? Is by, once people are partaking within Selitic, our marketplace, as you buy a product, we want to incentivize you for supporting these artisans. And as you do referrals for their products, we will also incentivize as well. And that is how we are creating the use of our token today, right, within the Selitic platform. We will also incentivize our artisans as they are adopting good behavior, good methods, good service. We will also be incentivizing them as well, right? Also, within Selitic, we will be leveraging AFOMA as an option of payment as well. So if you have accumulated your tokens, you can redeem your tokens within our marketplace. And as part of our roadmap, you will be leveraging AFOMA as well to incentivize or support NGOs that are part of our program. The beauty of what cryptocurrency does is that it enables us to break barriers. I'll give you an example. As part of our phase 1 within Selitic in our test phase, we significantly were experiencing challenges, as we know, with payment systems. It is expensive and it is not sustainable. And I'll repeat it again. Payment systems for the future will no longer be sustainable. If we continuously see inflation that is crippling our legal tenders today, the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, and we cannot continue to leverage legacy systems to drive commerce. The future is leveraging cryptocurrencies or emerging technologies to drive that vision. And that is where AFOMA comes in. AFOMA will also be used to drive a staking and liquidity rewards program. What that means is that, sorry, there's someone on the background. Can you kindly go on mute, please? Thank you. We will leverage AFOMA to drive a staking liquidity rewards program where we'll incentivize our token holders to earn API, which is in terms of where we're asking you to reinvest your tokens so that we can yield interest for you. So imagine opening up a savings account within the crypto world. That is what staking and liquidity rewards program will help incentivize. Obviously, that would mean we would lock your tokens within a specified period as well. Okay. Now, we will also leverage AFOMA to incentivize contributions made towards the open source development of our ecosystem. So over the years, we will leverage AFOMA tokens to drive or improve the ecosystem. And what we intend to do is we will enable youth across the globe to join our vision, where they can come in and contribute, whether they are software developers, whether they are business-oriented individuals, whether they are artisans and artists. We will have a space for everyone to contribute to this vision, and we will use AFOMA to incentivize them. We are looking at building partnerships with organizations today, whether they are NGOs or for-profit organizations, that will leverage AFOMA to drive their rewards program. We cannot go at this alone. We have to cooperate, we have to collaborate to achieve the vision of what AFOMA is all about. Today, we are already talking to organizations that want to leverage the AFOMA token to achieve that. For example, people ask me, Eric, how are you going to enable boots on the ground for artisans? Imagine where we are collaborating with a partner, for example, 1 million teachers today, who we are currently discussing with, where they build out trained teachers across sub-Saharan Africa, train them to become exceptional at what they do, their service that they render. And then we can say, we want to pick these teachers to actually work as agents within the Selitic marketplace. What are they going to do here? They can go and onboard artisans who lack understanding of technology, who are illiterate, and we can incentivize these teachers or individuals that are helping us drive our vision. We can put them on a part-time payroll where they can earn passive income. And that is what AFOMA can achieve today. We will also leverage AFOMA to drive community governance through our token holders. So if we are building major product enhancements within that ecosystem, or we want to leverage our revenue that we've generated towards building or supporting humanitarian efforts across the globe, we want to create transparency. And in achieving that, that is what blockchain offers. Everybody will have visibility to our crypto wallets. And they can see how these funds or how these tokens are being used. We can then say we have 5 projects across the globe, and we can reach out to our community to vote. And they say, this is where this token or this money or this crypto or our revenue should be going to. So this is in overall, this is what AFOMA will help us drive. As much as we have these tokens in the hands of the people that need it, and we can create a win-win. We will be probably, if not the first, that can build an ecosystem where everybody benefits from this ecosystem. And the only way we can achieve that is through AFOMA. And that is what AFOMA is. And that is why I use the word community-based. It will be a community-based token. And that is why we see a lot of excitement about what we are doing. From a partnership perspective, we are looking at a partnership with blockchain companies that want to leverage what we are doing here at AFOMA to drive commerce, to drive trade. And when you go on our website and you see where we say we are the catalyst or the next-gen catalyst for commerce, that is exactly what we mean. We will leverage AFOMA to drive commerce, and in so doing, incentivize every single person that is contributing towards that vision. And in the long run, we can use AFOMA to break the cycle of poverty. I will give you an example of a situation of what we achieved within our ecosystem. We were working with a lady who is an artisan in Nigeria, and she has never sold a product outside the country, never. And one of the challenges she expressed was payment systems were a barrier for her. And she has never had the technology or the understanding to actually put or get her product outside the country. What we asked her to do was to pilot with us on the Selitic platform. And what we ended up doing was we put up our products there and we got someone to buy a product all the way from the United States. That is the kind of opportunity we are trying to create. We do not want people to be locked in within their local economy. I was speaking with with an investor very well known in Nigeria. I'm not going to mention names, but he expressed how exciting our project is, but how do we tackle open markets within Nigeria, where you go under the bridge somewhere in Lagos and there are people trading, right? And where people can pick up a product and just go and deliver. Or how can you beat the likes of Konga, who are pretty much in that same market, in that same concept? Yes, e-commerce is nothing new, but we are more futuristic and our vision is different. One is the likes of these other e-commerce platforms are mass producing products. That is not what we want to do. We want to enable products within those communities, within those countries. We do not want to allow for mass production coming in from foreign countries. We want to scale people beyond their local economy. We don't want people locked in Nigeria or in Kenya or in Brazil. That's not what we want. We want to enable people. And through Selitic, allowing for people to leverage cryptocurrency as a form of payment will break barriers. We were trying to send money to an artisan using one of the very popular payment systems we have globally today. It's well known in Nigeria, and it would cost Selitic $40 US to make that transaction. We had to use World Remit to make that transaction, but it was costing Selitic $2. At the end of the day, that money is pulled out from the artisans we are trying to support. And that is what cryptocurrency can fix. Imagine where someone can make a payment using crypto, peer-to-peer transaction, pay someone in Africa, and yet that artisan is still reaping almost 95% of their revenue. That is a powerful story. That is what cryptocurrencies can offer today. Ignore all the noise of what Bitcoin is doing today. Yes, the vision around Bitcoin was to drive social impact. That was how it all started. It has turned into something else today. But that is what we want to change. And that is what AFOMA is all about. And that is why we have a utility behind AFOMA, not just as a form of a digital asset where you can hold. You can choose to hold. And as we utilize our token, the value goes up. But we want to drive something more. We want to tell a story. We want to enable people. And that is what our token is all about. Our roadmap. Selitic right now is, we're currently building out phase 2 of Selitic. We are looking at launching, ramping up by 4th quarter of this year. So hopefully by then we would have Selitic open for Christmas sales. So all of you would come in and buy wonderful products from our artisans. We are looking at maybe mid-March, we will probably open up Selitic for our second phase in our beta testing. Oruvan, we are looking at launching by 4th quarter of this year, or at least 1st quarter of next year. Oruvan has to be launched before we can take off, before AFOMA land can take off, which is our metaverse. As you know, within the metaverse, legal tender, US dollars, all that will not be leveraged within the metaverse itself. That's where Oruvan and AFOMA will be very, very, very instrumental. So AFOMA land, we're looking at launching around second quarter of 2023. This is our token allocation for AFOMA today. So our leadership team, we are allocating, we're shy of 7% of our total token allocation. But I will share this deck with everyone. But I just want to emphasize on AFOMA Foundation. This is where we are going to leverage our token to drive projects within our ecosystem, to drive our partner rewards program. Remember when I talked about where we are looking at partners that can enable our vision. So Tokenomics Africa, for one, we want to leverage Tokenomics Africa to help us drive the education of blockchain and the adoption of cryptocurrencies. Why? Our artisans will most likely not be crypto savvy, but we want to educate them because we want them to eventually move away from legacy technology, from payment systems, and move them towards the adoption of crypto. Why? Because they can earn more. So it makes sense to partner with organizations that can help drive our vision. We will not go at this alone. We want to leverage AFOMA Foundation to incentivize commerce, to drive technology. We are going to enable businesses. Our artisan in Nigeria, when she sold her product to the United States, she had to look for someone who makes boxes. She wanted to customize it. She wanted to make the packaging presentable. We want to look at kids in universities that can say, if you make sustainable packaging, obviously we want to recognize the impact of climate change, but we want to incentivize, get these kids to think outside the box, come up with solutions. Those are the kind of impact projects we want to invest in. We want to work with partners that can enable us drive our vision, like how I talked about teachers enabling boots on the ground. We want to work with NGOs like Azoneta, where they can leverage, look at humanitarian works across the globe, and we can use Azoneta to drive that vision, obviously through community governance through our tokens. So this is what we've allocated within our token allocations to drive a lot of what we're doing or what we hope to achieve. Okay. So I want to talk about our market cap projection. Today, AFOMA, we will be minting 1 billion tokens, and this is more of a marketing strategy for us. We looked at the population of Africa today, and we looked at Africa population is approximately about 1.3 billion. So we said, let's make 1 billion tokens for every African. So we decided to go with 1 billion tokens as our total token supply. On day one, the minute AFOMA is listed publicly, we are expecting an initial market circulation of approximately $700,000 US. And as we scale up in second month and above, we hope to be above $1 million US in circulation. However, please note that is subject to the value of our tokens at 0.01 USD, which is 1 cent. We hope that our token value will be above 1 cent. Just an update on how we're doing with our seed sale. We are currently we've managed to raise $37,000 US through our seed investors, who are people like yourselves, our friends and colleagues, people who we've known through our personal connect. And that is based on the sale of our AFOMA token at ½ cent today. Tokwe, can you please go on mute? Thank you. We are looking at our seed investment today for AFOMA is at ½ cent. We are looking at a planned listing as of today at 1 cent. That may change because as we continue to adopt and bring in new technology and new insights and new ways of improving our vision, that may impact the value of our planned listing. But we will definitely keep you all updated, our seed investors, obviously, as we plan, if that were to happen. Now, we've allocated 22%. We've allocated 22% of our total token supply towards raising funds to drive our vision at AFOMA. That means if we were to sell the entire 22% of our tokens dedicated towards fundraising, which is really our seed and our pre-sale and public sale, I think, right, we will be looking at approximately 1.5 million to $2 million US. And that is still subject to the price of the AFOMA token, obviously, right? So that is what our expectation is. And these funds will be used to drive towards building our ecosystem, Selitic. Selitic will need to be built in order for it to scale up. And we will then be building our AFOMA wallet. We will add features for our token holders. We will be using that towards paying for listing on exchanges. We will be doing marketing. That is very key to our vision. We have to drive marketing, right? We have to engage with influencers to actually enable us drive our vision at AFOMA. So I want to thank everyone. We've come to the end of our webinar, and I want to now open this up to questions, feedback, and we will gladly take your questions. We have Baiju on our session here. We have Usman, we have Patrick, and other parts of other members of our team, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. And I want to thank you all again for making out the time to be here with us this Saturday. Thank you. So the floor is now open to the audience if anyone has any questions.
Hi, Eric. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, can you state your name so that we can hear you? It was a bit low, but if you could speak up a little bit.
Yeah, is it better? My name
yes,
is
much better. Thank you.
Okay. So nice, very good presentation, and thanks for the vision. We need more of some things like this in Africa and Nigeria specifically. My question is about how does AFOMA, how will it fare in their present situation where governments across Africa do not want to hear the word cryptocurrency? At the end of the day, I mean, you're going to face two-pronged challenges. One is education of your target market, and then the other is how the government will accept
Beacon, I think we lost you there. Can you hear us? Okay. I think let me see if I can answer some of Beacon's questions. Your question is absolutely correct. That is why there is a lot of talk around regulation. But we as visionaries, we look to the future. We do not look to the past. And in looking towards the future, we have to remain optimistic. And with everything we are seeing today, I firmly believe there is no stopping of what cryptocurrency will have to offer. And we have seen countries like El Salvador. We are seeing countries like Ukraine. We are seeing even the US, states in the US, in the United States, are driving for regulation of crypto. Some states, even in the United States, for example, are looking at leveraging currencies like Bitcoin as a payment towards taxes, right? Canada, a member of parliament, has already pushed for regulation of crypto. I honestly believe that Africa will do what is right. There is no stopping here, because at the end of the day, governments in Africa will start to realize that it is important to regulate cryptocurrency and also enable their economy. India just regulated cryptocurrency, but they put a tax bracket on it, right? Fine, regulate it, put as much tax on it, but regulate it. I am all for regulation. We are all for regulation in AFOMA, but we must do it in a responsible way, and not to squash innovation. And in Africa today, the only fear around cryptocurrencies is because they don't understand the technology, or they just want to be bogged down on control. But they have to eventually realize, if the rest of the globe is moving in that direction, they will have to move as well. That was the same thing that happened with the internet. When the internet was launched, a lot of people wrote it off. It's not sustainable, it's not possible. We are now, a lot of us cannot do without the internet. We cannot. So we as visionaries are more optimistic. We look towards the future, and we have to remain sustainable. And that is the reasons why our ecosystem for Selitic, for example, we're offering 2 options of payment because of what you just called out. We know that governments are not ready, even the individuals are not ready. So that is the reasons why we are offering 2 options of payment within Selitic. So you can pay in US dollars, and we want our artisans to earn in US dollars. So you can use fiat as an option of payment, and you can choose the option of payment to use to pay in crypto. Now, once we incentivize our buyers, vendors, affiliated marketers, they can choose to hold. Because as the value of AFOMA goes up, that is an investment portfolio for you. You can choose to hold. You don't need to trade, because I understand the situation in Nigeria, where I understand where if you start doing transactions in crypto, the bank locks down their account. Fine, you can hold your crypto in a non-custodial wallet, which is what AFOMA is all about. We will build AFOMA wallet, right? And you can contribute within that ecosystem itself. And that's where I mentioned again, Techonomy Africa. We are in partnership with such organizations where we drive the understanding of crypto. And in that partnership rewards program, as we have teachers working as agents on Selitic, these same teachers are in 1 Million Teachers training, receiving training, and they're going to be incentivized there. They can also cross to another partner rewards program with maybe Techonomy Africa, where they can learn to the technology itself and also be incentivized, right? So we factored all of this into consideration. But again, we have to think as visionaries and not think about what's currently happening today, but we should look to the future. I hope I was able to answer your question. Any other questions?
Hi, Eric.
Oh, go ahead.
Hi, Eric. This is Kek and I here calling from Dubai. It was a very impressive presentation. It was a very impressive presentation, and it threw light on exactly what AFOMA is all about. So I was just wondering, I mean, I've just seen the portfolio, what you're working on, what you guys are working on, and it's quite impressive, and that's the right way to go. Is there anything specifically focused on sustainability? Because that's the kind of industry which I come from. So on sustainability issues of the world, currently, are we trying to address using any of those sectors or any of the companies which are trying to promote? Is it focused on that?
Yes. So we are looking at companies that we're looking at, for example, XDC Network. They are very, very, very keen on sustainability. And again, that's one of the reasons why our token will not be built on Ethereum, for example, we will not be building on the Ethereum blockchain. We will be building on blockchains. Our token will be neutral, which will be neutral based, but we will be looking at two things: sustainability, that's one, and accessibility. So we will be minting our tokens with companies that their key thing is about sustainability, because we want to make sure that we are a sustainable organization, right? So any partnerships that we're looking at is driven towards that, right? And that's why our token will be a neutral token. For example, I and Baiju, we were doing a transaction a few days ago, and we were trying to leverage, get some money in Ether, and you could see how expensive the gas fee is, or the network fee is. It is actually quite unfortunate what's going in. But again, their vision is to go into sustainability as well, to become more sustainable. So yes, we will be looking at partnerships that will drive our vision around being sustainable. Our first build of the AFOMA token will be on Binance, one, because of its affordability. We are also looking at XDC networks, who we are currently in discussions with. They are very, very big on sustainability, and that is why their network fee is extremely, extremely low. And they're also looking into the fact of the impact of mining and all whatnot to the climate, right? That's very key to them as well. And that's why if you look at the consensus or the algorithm that they are leveraging to actually drive that their vision, it's more around sustainability as well. So that is very important to us, and that is definitely something we will be taking seriously as well.
Yeah, I think that's a way to go, because most of the initiatives have to be centered around things like oxygenation, climate change control, and other reducing carbon footprint and all the stuff. So I guess that if you have that in a plan, then you're on the right track. So wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Baiju, you wanted to comment on this?
Yeah, I wanted to add a few more things. We talked about the sustainability of the technology which we are using, but our whole vision is around sustainability, because we are focusing the artisanal market, which is purely handmade. We are not going to all the products which you would see would be eco-friendly products. Similarly, if you look at NFT marketplace, there is a lot of NFTs going on right now, like CryptoPunks and Bored Apes and all those stuff. But what we are trying to do is to enable these artisans in this region. For example, they are a good oil on canvas painter. We can digitize their art, and they can get access to the global market. They can expose it as NFTs, and they can earn much more than maybe they are earning like 1,000 nairas or 5,000 nairas today, and they could be earning 10 times more if they have that access, right? Even from a metaverse perspective, what we want to give is an experience. Once you get into our metaverse, you will be able to go to artisanal villages. You would be able to see how they are making their products. You will be able to talk to them. So we are creating an experience around our core theme. We are not going to move away from our core theme in any of our projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Baiju.
Hi, Jim G is here.
Hi, Jim G.
Eric, very nice presentation, and
you.
Nice to see the vision, getting more and more shaping. I have a question, because from a overall market perspective, right? Let's say forget about all the technology behind blockchain for now, and then let's say if you're looking at artisans and how they engage, on a global platform. Do you also see some collaborations with non-blockchain based marketplaces? Let's say, because to get these artisans the highest level of exposure, that's our primary driving fuel behind it, right? The growth becomes more, as more and more people produce things and then they are able to sell through our channels. So let's say for that means from a buyer's perspective, I don't really care whether I am seeing this product on Amazon Pro, let's say, right? Or whether it is this specific channel, or so that's why on a overall wider canvas where we could sell, that would actually drive. I'm just thinking aloud, maybe I'm totally incorrect on this thought, but I'm just thinking, because the target would be based on the more number of artisans able to sell their produce through whatever channel it is. Maybe the underlying value exchange would be in NFTs and so on, but that is recorded outside the main marketplaces, right? I'm just thinking, is there such possibilities? Because if we are focused only on one channel or mainly one portal, or for the main buy and sell, but we would be opening it to a much more wider audience, right? If it is on conventional marketplaces as well. Does it make sense, that question, or is it my wrong wrong understanding of the whole ecosystem?
No, I think it's a very great question. I would let Eric answer that, but maybe Eric, you can take a minute to show our Selitic marketplace. Actually, you won't see that it is blockchain based at all. It is
totally. Absolutely.
So,
I have no doubt about that. What I meant is about the reachability, right? Because other marketplaces, it's the reachability is already established place. So we would be more. That's the only thing. I'm not about, for sure our marketplace is as good or even as much better than the competitors out there, which are
yes.
right?
Actually,
I'm purely talking about the reachability.
Sorry, actually, it is more reachable because the current marketplaces mostly accepts only fiat. In our marketplace, not only any artisan who is going to those marketplaces like Etsy or Amazon Handmade can partake, but at the same time, the customers could have actually more options to pay, which is like you can use your debit card, credit card, whatever it is, because we are integrating with Stripe payments, which is something which almost every e-commerce marketplaces do. And at the same time, you can also use, if you have crypto, you can use crypto. So, in my belief, our marketplace is more accessible than some of the existing marketplaces.
Yeah. And I'll just touch on that because I think your question is valid, and I think it's coming from the perspective of more of a go-to market strategy. As Baiju pointed out, we will be more accessible, not just from a technology perspective, but our go-to market strategy will also, from a business perspective, will be good as well. One of the things we look at is when we were building out Selitic, we looked at other e-commerce spaces within the handicraft space. For example, Etsy. Etsy is probably, if not the largest handicraft marketplace globally in the world. But I can tell you right now, it is not sustainable for people in the developing world, even here in Canada.
Okay.
Even here in Canada, we have the indigenous community here. It is not sustainable for them. And we can share personal experiences. We have a member of the AFOMA team who also attempted to sell on Selitic, and she had to pull out. Now, our go-to-market strategy is more about making our platform sustainable. And today, the task of our team is to make sure on Selitic, our vendors are paying bare minimum to get into Selitic. And we are looking at Selitic going at $2 a month. $2 a month. And you can list as many products as you can afford. And we just take also a commission fee on that.
John.
Right? So,
I have a meeting. Come in.
Sorry, guys, go on mute. Sorry, please. So we are looking at $2 a month. And what that means is, imagine if our average cost per item is $30, for example. That means if an artisan has already sold a product worth $30, the next product he or she will be selling is now becoming a profit at the end of the day, right? So our go-to market strategy is to make this platform accessible to the globe. not just for Africa, not just for the Caribbean, not just for Europe, not just for North America, or not just for the Oceania, right? But for everyone. And if we can say, bring in $2, and even as one of the things we intend to do is we look at our partnership with certain marketplaces or organizations or individuals or schools, we can say, because of that whole sustainability, or to drive what we're trying to do, you can even come in and pay just $1 a month to get in. Because it is about impact for us. It is about impact. And that is why we looked at a model that will enable inclusion and not just exclude the developing world. Because Etsy today, they preach inclusion, and I believe they do, but their business model does not allow for that. And that's what we're doing differently. And this is pretty much what Selitic looks like today. This is what our phase one looks like. And we are looking at expanding this. So hopefully by Christmas, we should have a different look. And then we would ask everyone to please come in and buy our products. And one of the things that we intend to do is we want to show the faces of our artisans. That is our vision. Today, the business model that we see is more B2B. People go in these countries or in Canada or wherever, buy in bulk, probably not at a fair price, and then they come to the high-income countries and sell. But we want to put the power in the hands of these artisans, showcase their face, tell their story, and that's how we can build that connection and that community with the artisans at the end of the day.
Eric, I have a question. This is Lazarus.
Hi, Lazarus.
Good. So I think I missed a little bit at the beginning. So the token itself, will it be listed on any exchange? Like, yes. Do you have any, have you guys thought about which exchange it will be listed to, which is like, let's say Coinbase, it's more widely used by a wider market and audience. Like, have you guys thought of where it could be listed?
Yes, we have been. On day one, we will be listing on PancakeSwap, day one, right? Okay. And we are also looking at other exchanges, but we also want to look at, we just don't want to look at exchanges because Keke asked a very valid question about sustainability. We want to look at what's also beneficial to the token and to our investors overall, right? So, but at the minimum, we're looking at, to start off with, maybe tier 2 type exchanges. We're talking to Bitmat today, which has is one of the global top exchanges today. We would love to list on Binance, but it is not realistic for us to go on Binance now. Binance, you're talking about millions of dollars just to get listed.
Yeah. Right. Okay, good. And also, yeah, sure. How can I get in touch with you, like for investing purposes? I think I have a network where I can help with fundraising within Toronto. I know some people that can come in because this has some kind of impact space linked to it anyway, you know, like because it's about helping artisans and all that stuff. So there's that impact angle, and I know people that might be interested in investing in something like that, especially that it also helps Africa with the crypto knowledge and all that stuff. So I think there's a lot of angles around it. So how can I get in touch with you so that we can maybe arrange a meeting and all that stuff? I live in Thunder Bay, but I do come to Toronto often. Okay. And I can link you up with people that might be interested in this.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Lazarus. You can reach out to me via my phone number. I can share that publicly with you. My number is 416.
Yeah, sure. Let me just write it down here 1 second. Yeah, 416 705 6113 6113. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, you can give me a call, and then we can definitely talk about that and take it from there. And I think Tandy, I know you raised your hand, but I know Lillian wanted to ask a question. So let me get Lillian to ask a question, and then I'll get back to you. Lillian, are you still on the call?
Yes, I am. Thank you. And thanks for an amazing presentation. Thanks for also taking out the time to build a plan to promote people who you consider invisible in the global market, because this is actually an important initiative that you've started.
Thank you.
So my question is from a business perspective. There are two questions. The first is, what are the marketing strategy, especially from the perspective of creating awareness so that you can capture the minds of these folks who don't easily have access to maybe internet or, you know, just easy communication for something that is so global. Then secondly, what is your projection for the next maybe 2 to 4 years or 5 years of adaptability?
Okay.
Right? They're both connected, but I'm hoping you'll get the point. Do I'm driving?
Yes, that's a very good question, Lillian. So to answer your first question, marketing strategy, that's why we need to raise money. That's why we need to raise money, because our target audience is, from our research. Now, it depends on where you're looking at. If you're looking at the aspect of crypto, and then the aspect of impact, right? From a crypto perspective, we are targeting we are targeting crypto savvy people, and our strategy is to actually go head on. Sorry, can you please go on mute? I'm hearing a wonderful baby screaming in the background. Thank you. So it's more around targeting crypto communities, right? That are see what our tokenomics is all about, because to them, tokenomics has to stand out. The utility of this token has to stand out. The crypto community is not very, from a business side of things, it's not very complicated, right? So it's more around projecting the utility of our token and going at the crypto communities head on, and obviously attending events and all whatnot. That's our strategy on the AFOMA side. And as long as we are building partnerships, we are leveraging the right utility, right, to actually project that vision around AFOMA itself. That is the go-to market strategy for AFOMA. For Selitic, we actually have a business plan for Selitic, which I can make available to anyone that needs it. Selitic has a business plan, and our go-to strategy again is to drive marketing. And one of the things we hope to do is, remember, you raised a very good point, Lillian, in the sense, how do we target these other small communities? And we will be launching a mobile app. We're going to launch a mobile app because in regions, in developing regions, even in the high income regions, everybody's on the move. A lot of people would not be moving around with their laptops. Even when I shop at Amazon, for example, I sometimes make a purchase through their mobile app. So our go-to market strategy is to build a mobile app for example, Selitic. That's our go-to strategy. Believe it or not, women predominantly is the main market for the handicraft marketplace, or handicraft market. I don't know what's wrong with men. I don't know why we don't buy handmade products, but predominantly women do. And that is our strategy. We want to go after women because that is also a key part of what Selitic is all about. From a 5-year program, and I think Patrick, I don't know if Patrick is looking at our numbers right now, but we are projecting, I think probably, Patrick, I don't know if you have the numbers right in front of you, but we are projecting, I think about in 5 years, we will be having a gross merchandise sales within Selitic, I think about 30 million or so, I think. I don't know if that number is off, but we can get you that business plan, Lillian, if you need it. But our strategy one for Selitic, mobile app delivery, marketing, demographic is predominantly women, for sure. And that is how our strategy is to get across to people. From a AFOMA perspective, whether it's AFOMA land, Oruvan, and AFOMA in terms of from a crypto wallet perspective, our vision is to target the crypto communities and put out a solid utility and tokenomics plan so that they see the value of what we're pushing out. That is our strategy for AFOMA. And I want to express something very important here. AFOMA land will be very, very powerful in terms of what it's almost telling a similar story as what Selitic will be offering. Because today we are seeing the likes of Mark Zuckerberg driving billions of dollars to push Meta. And I will be honest with you, they are not thinking about the developing world. They are not. Because right now, our technology that we will be leveraging on AFOMA land, which I wish we probably won't have enough time. Maybe we'll set up another session at some time when Usman would go deep into what AFOMA land has to do. Because on AFOMA land, it's going to be totally decentralized. We're going to have the opportunity to project Selitic on AFOMA land. We're going to drive things around DeFi programs within AFOMA land, where artisans who are looking for microfinance loans, we can leverage that opportunity on AFOMA land. We are going to look at opportunities of schools. Michelle Kleber, who is part of our team, is a teacher. When she saw the demo of what AFOMA land is all about, she's already talking about the opportunity of enabling children in other parts of the globe having accessibility to teachers in more developed countries. That is the opportunity we're trying to create, right? And we have realtors who are probably on this call. They can come and start buying land on AFOMA land to develop and sell. That's the level of opportunities we are trying to create on AFOMA land. And you will not need only a VR headset to actually be engaged in that technology. I hope I was able to answer your question, Lillian.
Yes, and if you get the chance, yes, please share the business plan. It'll be nice to see. Thank you.
And Patrick just confirmed my what I just said. We are for 5 years GMS, so gross merchandise sale forecast for Selitic is at 35 million. That is what we want to do. And if we have some more time, I wouldn't mind Usman, but I want to get to Tandy. If we have no other questions after Tandy, I would want Usman to sort of like do a bit of a demonstration of what AFOMA land would look like. So Tandy, and yes, Lillian, I would definitely get our business plan to you for Selitic, because we are eventually looking at capturing about 10% of the 1 trillion global handicraft market. That is our goal, right? We are looking at capturing about 10% of that 1 trillion global market. So, and we are going to leverage technology. We are going to leverage our vision around social impact and to achieve that. We with your support, obviously. Tandy, go ahead.
Thanks, Eric. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll make this one really quick. So my question is towards Selitic, and great presentation, by the way, and the idea is amazing. I love the concept of capacity building, especially when we look at developing countries. I'm thinking about more of quality and customer satisfaction. So the platform looks great, but I'm thinking about, okay, on the ground, when these products, we know handmade products are very delicate, and how are we going to manage, or how are you going to manage to be able to deliver this to the customer who has bought it in good condition and at the right time?
That's a wonderful question. And I'm not sure what time you joined, but that's a very good, I get people asking me that question all the time. That's where we talked about leveraging the power of what AFOMA offers. And we will leverage agents on the ground to actually help us to provide quality assurance. That's one, right? And we will incentivize them in achieving that. And one of the other things AFOMA also does is that we will incentivize artisans who are doing exceptional work. So once they know, and we will leverage AI to drive this, once we start leveraging where we see the opportunity or build the opportunity where people, our buyers, are providing valid feedback based on their experience with that artisan or the product, we will incentivize. And if we look at the data we're picking through and data analytics on the Selitic platform, we can use that to make decisions. So if we continuously see an artisan is continuously being bashed, we want to pull them off the ecosystem. We do not want bad behavior to partake in that ecosystem because it puts the business and it puts our buyers at risk as well. So we're going to leverage technology, AI, analytics to make those decisions, right? And we will incentivize even feedback that makes sense to helping us enable those bad players. That is how AFOMA will help us achieve that. And that is how we're going to leverage AI and data analytics to make those decisions. And then we will leverage boots on the ground. For example, as I pointed out, leveraging teachers who can actually go and do quality assurance for us. We could even extend that to NGOs. For example, Azoneta, who will be a potential partner to this ecosystem, to put out volunteers who can actually help us to perform quality assurance before we then onboard these products as well. And then even when they're onboarded, we can still leverage analytics and AI to make business decisions. And that's how we hope to achieve that. Did I answer the question, Sandy?
Yes, thank you, Eric. And just one additional question to that. How will you manage originality of the product? Because you have a lot of designers coming together. How will you make sure that one designer does not copy the other designer and they start producing that product?
Oh, that's a good one. And that's where, again, we are looking at if you go into marketplaces, there isn't a unique, if someone is making a shoe, you're definitely going to see someone else putting out a shoe. What we want to definitely validate is the quality of that product. There isn't any really use case or the originality to anything. Even what we're doing today, it's not unique in the sense. It's what is the layer of what we've put on top of it that makes us unique. E-commerce has been there for decades, right? So when it comes to the originality of things, that's where Baiju also talked about the NFT side of things. Now, we can now look at pictures, artists who paint on canvas, right? We can enable them to tokenize or digitize their canvas, and that makes their product unique. And that removes the issue around counterfeiting at that point, because that's really what NFTs are all about, the uniqueness. And that is the meaning behind Oruvan, one and only. That is why we named our NFT marketplace Oruvan, one and only, because we want to leverage the opportunity to tackle counterfeiting and produce or push for unique products at the end of the day.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome. I think someone else raised their hand, but I think they dropped.
Can I just make a comment with regards to originality? Is that possible?
Absolutely, Michelle. Please go ahead.
Okay, so like I am in the artisanal space because I myself have sold on Etsy, and what I've come to understand when it comes to artisanal products, there is no real idea of copyright or of patenting or of duplication. The whole purpose is, to reiterate what Eric said, is about the quality of the product itself. That's what sets you apart from an artisan, because I'm a card maker and there are many people who make cards and there is duplication of ideas. You see people mimic each other's cards, but what it comes down to at the end of the day is how good you are compared to your other artisans that are out there. So when it comes to the handicraft market itself, I don't think we can look at things like quote unquote forgeries or imitations or impersonators, because there's always going to be somebody's take on somebody else's idea. And if that starts to filter into our marketplace, I don't believe that that's something that Selitic has the capability to police. And I know that's what Etsy says, is that they do not get involved in if an artisan says, oh, you know, you're copying my product and such. The whole purpose is that artisanal products can be very similar because people get ideas from each other that way. And that the craft market is based upon the quality of the product that's produced. So that's just my input or 2 cents.
Thanks, Michelle. I think Ugonna, you had a question, but I'm not sure. I just sent you a direct message. Did you still have a question, or I think we answered your question already?
Yes, sorry. You did manage to answer my question, because my questions were actually similar to Thandi's questions as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Because I would want to use a few more minutes to have Usman do a presentation for us. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, I will then ask Usman to start sharing. Usman, are you ready?
Yep. Yeah, I'll get started here.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. As you can hear, my name is Usman. I'm the senior software engineer here at AFOMA, and will be the creative director of AFOMA Land. Eric reached out to me on LinkedIn, and well, we talked about the metaverse quite a bit, and our ideology synced up quite a bit. So I said, yes, you know what, let's do it. AFOMA is a really cool company, and I like their goal, and that goal being accessibility, reaching everyone, and that was my idea as well for a metaverse. So AFOMA Land, the way I imagine it is we're combining multiple platforms together. You've seen metaverses being developed that use VR solely and have maybe some combination of PCs, but I wanted to add in the cell phone users as a platform, because not everyone can afford a VR headset. And I wanted it to be, you know, meaningful, getting in the metaverse with your cell phone, not just like Facebook's metaverse. A cell phone user takes a picture and sends that to someone in VR. That's a very bland addition to a metaverse. So I wanted to get that presence in and essentially have that cell phone user have their own avatar, hand presence, and they can do something with it. Incorporating into that metaverse, the AFOMA token. Everything you purchase inside the application will have AFOMA tokens representing those exchanges. You can make we can make money off transaction fees along the way, and peer-to-peer selling of the network of the currency being available elsewhere. Now, once you've got that established, your metaverse is there. We start with a central hub where Selitic gets a nice chunk of land for everyone to see, get tutorials or anything advertised there, and then the remaining land could be sold to other advertisers or companies. And this is where people would all, when they start the metaverse, when they join the metaverse, boom, they all come in here, and then they can walk outwards from there, purchase land outside of the central hub, and construct whatever they'd like, such as clothing and avatar shops for users, places to buy decorations from, or decorate their own land with a bunch of things. And eventually you have people expanding out with purchased land. Maybe they have workshops and classes on their land. Some have a yoga class, for example, others having art galleries for their NFTs, these kinds of things. So I just wanted to share a quick video about the technologies being implemented. Hopefully that is enabled sound as well. This is just ignore the music as much as that's not really my music, but we'll work with the rest. There's your VR user, and this is the view of us. And tracking. And you have a window into the metaverse with your cell phone. That's the unique take on our metaverse. Bringing in that additional platform, which more than any other platform out there. But other than that, if you have any questions for me, be happy to answer. Otherwise, Eric, feel free to take back over.
Thank you. Any questions on the concept behind metaverse? As Usman pointed out, when I connected with Usman on LinkedIn, I was sharing our vision around AFOMA, and I did mention to him that one thing I am passionate about is what AFOMA stands for, and it's all about inclusion and accessibility. I would be honest with you, the metaverse is a big thing in the crypto world today. I had very low expectations of having Usman be part of our project because I knew he would be in high demand. But he understood what our vision is around accessibility. And that was what brought him into what our vision is and be part of what we are trying to build here. And that's what I mean by sustainability. If I came to you to say that our vision is to build a metaverse, people are going to ask the question, how is this going to work in poor countries? In Africa today, we have a significant amount of people on smartphones, mobile phones. And that is what I want to tap into. The same thing with India, the same thing with the Caribbean countries, the same thing with Latin America. And that is what our vision is about. We want to create accessibility, sustainability, and the opportunity to allow people to partake in what our ecosystem is all about. So if there are any questions for myself, the team, Usman, we will gladly answer any other additional questions that you may have. Any questions? Okay. I will then, I'd like to use this opportunity to thank everyone that made out the time to attend our webinar today. Please feel free to reach out to me if, because yes, we are still looking for investment. Our seed round is still ongoing to the 28th, but it depends on how much volume of people who are still interested in our vision. We may, with the permissions of Baiju, maybe extend our seed sale. But we are looking at a wrapping seed sale, but we will then go into a private sale after our seed sale. And at the private sale, the value of our token at the time will go higher. Our seed sale right now is going at half a cent, so 0.005 USD. Minimum investment to our AFOMA project is $200, 200 US dollars. We had to bring it down because, again, we are all about community. We are all about and allowing other people to partake in what we are trying to do here. So our minimum investment is 200 US dollars. Our seed sale is currently going at half a cent. And then when we go into private sale, the price of our token will go up at the time. So please, if you are interested in our vision, or even you are interested in some form of partnership to drive our vision, please feel free to reach out to any member of the AFOMA team. We are all on LinkedIn. If you go on our website and you click on our image, it takes you straight to our profile. You can vet every single person that is on here, including our advisors. Feel free to reach out to me. My email is eoswara@afoma.io. So E for Echo, O for Oscar, S for Sam, U for Union, O for Oscar, R for Romeo, A for Alpha, H for House @afoma.io. My cell phone number is 416-705-6113. I am very active on WhatsApp, so you can reach out to me on WhatsApp if you need to. And we will be glad to connect with you in any way possible. This is the first of many webinars that we will be having, and we will continue to keep you all updated on our progress. And once again, I thank you all for being on the call. Thanks, everyone. I will then proceed to stop recording. Sorry, Baiju, you had a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everyone knows the process of the seed sale. So it's basically a 3-step process. First is expression of interest, which I think, Eric, we can put that on the chat.
Yep.
It's on afoma.io/whitelist,
yep,
where you show your expression of interest as to how much you want to put in. There are two fields which are important there, which you need to fill in. One is the referral code, which would be AFOMA 2022, and the person whom you know from the team, because this particular round is only open to family and friends. So we need to put that name there, right? And the second step would be, once you do that, then all the things automatically follows. You will get an email to do a KYC AML, because that is part of the regulations. We need to do a KYC AML, which is a simple step, just checking the ID and to make sure that the person is the same person who is investing. And then the third part would be payment, and you will have multiple options, including all types of options: debit, credit, crypto, any option which you prefer. Yeah, I just wanted to add that in case some of you haven't seen that.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Baiji. So yes, thank you, everyone. I will then go ahead to end our recording at this time.